Hi everyone, in today's video on the Hittites we will briefly discuss the long reign of King Hattusili III over the kingdom of Hatti. With his successful usurpation of his nephew, Hattusili III claimed the throne of Hatti, though it appears that in his childhood that he had been very sickly, and it was feared that he would never reach adulthood. However, Hattusili believed that his long and successful life was because of the blessings of Ishtar, the goddess of love and war, and throughout his life he made the goddess his patron deity. After the Battle of Kadesh and before his rebellion against his nephew, he had even married a priestess of Ishtar called c.1267-1237, with whom he enjoyed a long and successful marriage and partnership when he ascended the throne. He would also have many children, and therefore potential heirs to the throne. One of the first things that Hattusili had to do as king was to convince his own people, vassal kings and great kings of nearby empires like Egypt, Assyria and Babylon that he was indeed the legitimate king of Hatti, even though he had taken the throne by force. The apology of Hattusili was one means that the king used to assert that he was the divinely appointed and rightful king. His international efforts had mixed results, with the king of Assyria at first rejecting his legitimacy and refusing to send a gift to him upon him becoming king. When what was left of Mitanni rebelled against Assyrian control, Hattusili refused to send aid to the rebels and allowed the kingdom to be destroyed by the Assyrians. He then acknowledged Assyrian control over what was once a part of the Hittite Empire. This move may have been deliberately made so as to soften relationships between Hatti and Assyria. To further secure his legitimacy and position internationally, Hattusili approached Ramesses II with a proposal for a long-lasting peace treaty between the two great kingdoms. This treaty was concluded in circa 1259 BC, 15 years after the famous Battle of Kadesh, and was named the Eternal Treaty, of which both powers possessed copies, with minor variations between the two. Copies of both documents have survived to this day. It is considered one of the earliest known peace treaties, and a replica of the treaty can be found in the United Nations building in New York. The treaty included clauses of non-aggression and mutual military assistance in the event of internal or international conflicts. It also contained a clause where both powers were required to extradite any fugitives back to their homelands. It is possible that this clause was added so that Egypt would be required to give up Hattusili III, who may still have been hiding in Egypt as a fugitive. The Hittite version of the treaty also included stipulations stating that Pharaoh would assist Hattusili in the event of a rebellion within Hatti, and that he would acknowledge the heir of Hattusili as a legitimate heir to the throne of Hatti. Thus, the treaty helped to secure Hattusili's position as the new king of Hatti at home and abroad. This new peaceful relationship with Egypt was further strengthened through marriage, as eventually two daughters of Hattusili would marry Ramesses II. These marriages were arranged with the help of c.1267-1237, which helps to demonstrate the queen's power and influence within the Hittite royal court and beyond. Even though Hattusili had secured an era of long-lasting peace with Egypt, he still faced internal problems within his own empire, especially in western Anatolia. These problems were caused by the return of the ever-troublesome Pia-Maridu, who had already caused issues during the earlier reign of Hattusili's brother, Muwatalli. Hattusili would eventually corner Pia-Maridu in Milawata, though the troublemaker would flee by ship to an unknown Aegean island and continue to cause further issues for Hatti's western vassals, with the assistance of Ahiawa. Hittite control over its western vassals would continue to decrease over time after the death of Hattusili. After a long and successful reign of about 30 years, Hattusili died in circa 1237 BC. though it would not be long after his death that the Hittite Empire would begin a sudden decline that would bring about the end of the empire. Though until then, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe for more videos every second Friday.